We're talking about a massive $10 billion deal, an ambition to build a new tech hub in a third of the time it took its legendary rival. And it's all a bet on the single most important resource of the future, data. So how exactly is the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh making this huge play to get on the global tech map? Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the headline here because it all kicks off with a number that's, well, it's pretty hard to ignore. This isn't just some standard investment. It's a huge statement of intent, one of the biggest India's seen in this space. Yep, $10 billion. That is the massive deal Andhra Pradesh just locked in with Google to build a giant data center cluster. But here's the thing you need to know. This huge investment, it's really just the anchor for a plan that is way, way bigger. And it just gets bigger. See, that Google facility is just 1 gigawatt. The state's actual goal is to scale up to a total of 6 gigawatts of data center capacity. And get this, they want to do it in just 3 years. I mean, that is an absolutely massive build-out of digital infrastructure on a crazy tight schedule. So you might be wondering, okay, a gigawatt of data, what does that even mean for people on the ground? Well, for the people of Andhra Pradesh, the state estimates it means jobs, a lot of them. We're talking 200,000 direct and indirect jobs for every single gigawatt they manage to build. So yeah, this is not just about servers, it's a blueprint for a massive economic transformation. Okay, so we've got these huge numbers, but where is all this actually going down? Well, the entire plan is zeroed in on one city with a very specific strategy. They want to replicate one of India's greatest tech success stories, but do it at lightning speed. And that city at the heart of it all is Visakhapatnam, or as pretty much everyone calls it, Vizag. And this isn't some random choice. The government has officially named it the state's economic capital. They are intentionally, deliberately building the future of Andhra's economy right here. And believe me, this plan goes way beyond just data centers. They're creating something called the Greater Vishakha Economic Corridor. Think of it as a whole package deal. IT, pharmaceuticals, a steel city, a park for medical devices, the whole shebang. They're not just trying to attract one industry. They're trying to build an entire economic ecosystem from the ground up. Now this is where it gets really wild. The sheer audacity of their timeline. You see, the man leading this charge, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, is the same person who is widely credited with turning Hyderabad into a global IT hub. And now, his government's goal is to do it all again in Vizag, but to achieve in just 10 years what took Hyderabad 30 years to build. I mean, that is development at hyperspeed. So you gotta ask, right? Why the huge bet on data centers? Why this specific technology? Well, it all comes down to the single biggest tech shift happening in the world right now. Artificial intelligence. And just so we're all on the same page, let's be super clear about what we're talking about. Data centers are the physical backbone of the digital world. They're these massive, power-hungry warehouses filled with servers and storage that run everything from your Netflix stream to, and this is the crucial part, the entire cloud and the AI models that are reshaping our world. Put simply, without data centers, there is no AI. Of course, there's a huge elephant in the room here. Building data centers at this scale raises a massive red flag: the environmental cost. These things are notorious for being absolute power and water guzzlers, and that's a tough criticism the state government has to answer for. And here's their answer. The state's IT minister, Nara Lokesh, put it pretty bluntly. This quote frames their whole perspective. For them, AI is an unstoppable force. It's not just an opportunity. They see it as a matter of economic survival. So they've decided to embrace it, environmental challenges and all. Look, having a vision this big is one thing, but actually making it a reality, that's a whole different ballgame. You don't just land a $10 billion deal with a company like Google. It means you had to solve some very, very complex problems. So how did they pull it off? The state government basically became an active problem solver for Google. They worked with the central government to address all of their biggest concerns. This meant tackling really tricky stuff like data privacy rules, clarifying complex tax laws, and sorting out international copyright. In short, they cleared the bureaucratic path for this massive investment to come through. This quote just perfectly captures the government's unique philosophy. They don't just sign a deal and walk away. They take ownership of the project's success. It's a very hands-on approach designed to tell investors, hey, we are in this with you, and we are going to make this happen. So what's the bottom line here? When you pull all these different pieces together, what does it really mean for Vizag's future on the world stage? Let's break down the key takeaways. All right, so to recap, there are really four key things to remember here. First, that massive $10 billion anchor deal from Google. Second, the hyper-ambitious goal of 6 gigawatts of data capacity in just 3 years. Third, the strategy to build a new economic capital faster than we've ever really seen before. And finally, a proactive government that is actively clearing the way for investors. And all of that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? All the pieces are in place. You've got the investment, the ambition, the strategy, the political will. But turning a multi-billion-dollar bet into India's next great tech hub, well, that's the ultimate challenge. And I guess only time will tell if this incredibly audacious plan will actually pay off.